I'm Mabel Jong, and you're watching continuing coverage of the World Healthcare Congress here in Washington, D.C. Thank you so much for joining us, and a special welcome to those of you who are joining us virtually. In our studio right now is Shawn Habibi, who is VP of Payer Relations at CareMeridian. He's based in California. Thank you so much for your time, Shawn.
Thank you for having me.
Well, introduce us to CareMeridian.
Sure. CareMeridian is an organization that owns and operates inpatient healthcare facilities, providing skilled nursing and rehabilitation geared towards catastrophic patients.
Okay.
And by catastrophic, that typically means there's some sort of neuro component to it, so traumatic brain injury, spinal cord injury. Our parent company is the Mentor Network out of Boston, and between CareMeridian and NeuroRestorative, one of our sister companies, we are the largest provider of inpatient post-acute services in the country.
Okay, so are these standalone clinics?
They are.
And
yes.
where are they normally based? Or are they attached to?
No, they're freestanding facilities. They have a residential feel because a lot of times these patients are longer term.
Okay.
So the goal is to get them into a setting that is more comfortable, and hopefully they're discharging home at some point. And so a lot of the training and rehab is focused towards a home setting, so that when they get home, they have the skills they need to sort of get around and get to a level of care that they're comfortable with.
And how are they staffed? Who staffs the clinics?
They're staffed with nurses and therapists. There are employees, and we have a very high nurse to patient ratio because of the nature of our patients, which are, like I said, catastrophic. So they require, high intensity care.
Okay. You mentioned earlier that you're focused on post-acute care. Do you have a unique approach to it, or strategy when you think about post-acute care?
Sure. I mean, it's developing, with the changes in healthcare, and so we're definitely. Part of the reason I'm here, for this conference is to kind of get a pulse on what the leaders in healthcare are doing, what the direction is, validating some of the things that I think, and primarily trying to understand what the perceptions are, because the perceptions become realities, and so understanding those and getting ahead of them so that we can offer our service to as many patients as possible is key. One of the key strategies for us is definitely becoming more collaborative, and consolidate, sort of working with other providers and systems, so that instead of working in these little silos and little slivers, we can start solving more wholesale problems to a larger population.
Okay. What are the benefits of a patient coming to one of your facilities versus someplace else?
Well, a lot of reasons. One, just the aesthetic piece of it to begin with is, instead of it being an institutional facility with fluorescent lights and long hallways, it has a residential feel, so it's more comfortable not only for the patient but also for the families. Secondly, again, as I mentioned, the clinician to patient ratio is much higher. We are very focused on rehabilitation and not just patient maintenance, where typically at some other providers that care for catastrophic patients, they're managed through pharmacy, and you have patients that are just waking up out of a brain injury and they'll just be snowed with pharmacy to maintain them. We have a rigorous program to try to rehab these patients, get them through their injury or illness, and we have a focus to get them home, back to work, whatever the highest level of function they can get to.
Mm-hmm. What are some other takeaways that you're leaving with attendees at the conference?
There's a lot of great stuff. I really feel it's been a great conference for me so far. There's not a lot of Californians here, but there probably should be more, because I feel that a lot of healthcare and the initiatives are driven out of DC and healthcare law and reform and that sort of thing. Obviously, collaboration is a huge one. Consolidation, value-based payments is something that's coming down the pike. Primarily, our reimbursement has all been fee-for-service. We've been trying to get ahead of that, and knowing that value-based reimbursement is coming down the pike, so trying to find creative ways to come up with a reimbursement that lowers cost of healthcare, but at the same time maintain quality and patient satisfaction. That's a big part of quality for us and our organization is, do our patients and their families and our customers, do they walk away from the experience feeling good about it? Because when we talk about quality in terms of quality healthcare, to me that's a minimum ante. If you're not providing quality care, you shouldn't even be in this industry, right? I mean, but in addition to that is providing customer service. I mean, in this country that we live in, customer service is huge. And you can see that through online reviews like Yelps and that sort of thing, where people have a forum to go and express their satisfaction. And the care that you provide could be great. It could be very high quality care, but if the experience the patient had and their families have had wasn't a pleasant one, they won't feel like they received quality care. And so that is very important for us to make sure that the entire experience that our patients and their families and all of our customers walk away from our facility in our programs, that we cared about them, that we showed compassion, that we have empathy for their plight, and that we are providing the best care that we can offer and that they deserve.
Okay, thank you, Shawn, for your comments today.
Of course.
Appreciate it.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. And I'm Mabel Jong. Stay tuned, many more interviews to come.